sell is inventory. Also important is that it depends on the type of business that we're in. More perishable businesses will have a higher inventory turnover from those who are in a non-perishable situation. Now, the liquidity ratio, which is very, very important. This ratio will indicate if there is a need for additional money or working capital to finance your operation. And it is calculated by the current assets divided by the current liabilities. And in the example that we look at in terms of the balance sheet, we realize that the current ratio is 0.69 to 1. And the ideal ratio is basically a 1 to 1. So we want our current assets, our current liabilities to be equal, at least equal to our current assets in most situations, right? So in this situation, it is suggesting that this company it may need financing, probably long-term financing, right? Our debt service ratio, and this ratio is very important to the banks, right? It's a ratio used by the banks as a rule of thumb to give a preliminary assessment of whether a potential borrower is already in too much debt. So whenever you are going to the bank, you at least need to know what the debt servicing ratio is before you actually approach them. So you probably want to approach us to do a proposal for you to actually deal with the bank on your behalf. Now, how is it calculated? It's calculated by the cash available to pay, which is referred to as the EBITDA. And by EBITDA, we mean our earnings before interest, tax, and amortization. And this is divided by the debt payment. So the monthly repayment amount that you're going to be paid back. And ideally, banks would love for this ratio to be at least 1.25 to 1, right? RBC. But as I said, they are flexible, right? Now, the debt service ratio, in terms of the example that we looked at, right? We realize that the EBITDA is actually $600 per annum. So on a monthly basis, it would be 600 divided by 12, which would be $50 per annum per month. And this is calculated by adding back what our profit before tax and amortization, profit before interest and tax. I will add back the depreciation to actually get 600, right? Now, if we assume that the monthly repayment amount and the new loan that A Limited will be borrowing is $15 per month, we end up in a situation where the debt service ratio would be higher than what the bank is requiring, 3.33 to 1. So this would be good. You would meet one of the goals that the bank wants, one of the objectives of the bank in terms of lending the money. But what if the situation is different? For example, if your EBITDA is $1 million per month and your monthly loan payment totals $800, right? What would be your debt service ratio? And this would be the $1 million divided by the 800, which gives us 1.25. Now, so we are basically where the banks want us to be, 1.25 to 1. Now, if the company is in need of additional funding, what strategies could be employed to improve your debt service ratio? Because you're under the borderline in terms of what the banks want, 1.25 to 1. Now, what could you do to actually improve this? And one of the things that we could do is actually, sorry, could boot sales. That will basically improve your earnings, but everybody, once you can improve sales, you will improve sales. So more than likely you would have tried that and it did not work, right? But what you could do, right, if all conditions being equal, is that you could negotiate longer terms in your bank. So if the current loan that you have is actually 3 years, you have 3 years left to pay, you could increase it to 6, negotiate with the bank and increase it to 6. So what this will do is decrease the monthly payments that you will make into the bank. So you'll have the same amount of cash flow every month, right? But your monthly payment will be lower. And this will improve the debt service ratio and allow you to actually borrow more money from the bank. And the next key ratio that is our total asset turnover. And this indicates how efficient the company is in using the assets of the business, right? And it is calculated by the revenue of the business divided by the average total asset. And in the example, we realize that the total asset turnover is 3.13. And what is this saying? What this is saying is that for every $1 of asset that the company has, it is generating revenue of $3.13. And these are important ratios that we need to be looking at. Now, when we look at A Limited, we said that the owners were happy. They are making profit of $300. They are in business to make profit, and they are making profit of $300. Now, what we do is actually compare A Limited with B Limited, right? And they are in the same industry, selling the same products, similar business in the same location, relatively the same amount of sales, buying from the same suppliers. So basically all the conditions that exist in A Limited exist in B Limited, except for certain important factors. So when you look at A Limited and B Limited, you realize that the profit for A Limited is $300 and the profit for B Limited is $950. Now, I don't think the owners of A Limited will be so happy anymore, right? Because here it is, your competition is basically generating 3 times the profit that you are generating. So what are you doing wrong? One other thing is that realize that the cost of sale for B Limited is lower. So if they are buying from the same suppliers, it means that the same price, so it's not material price, they're having the same revenue, so it's not a sales price situation. So what it is? What this is probably telling us is that A Limited has weak internal control system, and as a result is losing inventory. So that 1,000, that's 3,500 minus 2,500, that $1,000 is probably going through the door without the company getting the benefit of that inventory, right? But also realize that A Limited have administrative expense of probably $200 more than A Limited. But that doesn't mean that they are managing their expenses properly either, right? It probably means that B Limited is invested in professional fees. So as a result, the internal control system is much better, right? And the finance costs, we realize that A Limited is paying more 2 times what B Limited is paying, because more than likely B Limited has good working capital management, right? So, they're probably not banking at RBC, right? That's okay. Now, so we have looked at our actual numbers, we have looked at budgeted numbers, and we're going to be looking at a variance analysis. And what the variance analysis does is actually compare the budgeted results with the actual results, right? And we need to be doing this. And it also helps, when we're doing our variance analysis, it helps to measure the performance of management, right? So let's look at this situation where we have budgeted numbers. We have a budgeted sales of 8,000, cost of goods sold of 5,600, and budgeted gross profit of 2,400. But when we do the actual results, we realize that our sales was more than budgeted, right? We have cost of goods sold of 10,400, and our gross profit was more than budgeted, right? What does this say? Does this say that our actual performance was better than budgeted? Right? Not necessarily, right? Because we need to be calculating our gross profit margin ratio. And when we calculate the gross profit margin ratio for the budgeted results, we realize that it would be 30%. So your budgeted gross profit margin would be 30%, while the actual gross profit margin is about 20%. And to get that is actually your gross profit divided by the sales, right? So, all things being equal, no increase in material price, no increase in selling price, right? Your gross profit margin, even if the actual sales in terms of absolute number is more, your gross profit margin should be the same, right? So what this is telling us again is that, listen, we're losing inventory that we are not getting the benefit of. So by just looking at those actual numbers, we wouldn't know. But by calculating the ratios, it will tell us that. So these are important things that we need to be doing them in our business. Now, so we have looked at budget, we have looked at strategic plan, we have looked at operational plan, financial statement, compared to financial statements, and now we need to be looking at our business process improvement, right? Now, business process improvement is a tool that helps an organization to improve or optimize its processes to achieve more efficient results. And the question is it effective? Yes, it is effective because research has shown that that it reduces costs on long term and the length of time that would actually take to do things by 90%. And it also improves the delivery of our quality by 60%. And what this does, it leaves all stakeholders happy. The suppliers are happy, right, because they are getting paid. The customers are happy because you are providing quality to them. And the shareholders are also happy because if you are more efficient, you increase in quality, more customers, so you'll be making more money. Right? Now, why is and the employees will be happy too because they'll be getting a raise a bit. Right? And bonus. Right? Now, why is business process improvement important apart from the fact that we have identified? What normally happens is that where business is normally started out of chance, and so you have one or two persons that are involved in the process, right? And as the business grows, you encounter problems and you fix the problem, you put in procedures, right? But what happens is that over time these procedures become inappropriate or inadequate or probably not applicable, none at all, to what we are doing in the business. So what we normally recommend is that at least once every 3 years you actually do an evaluation to determine whether or not the processes that involve in your business, if they are applicable or appropriate. And this evaluation is normally what we call an organizational review. Right? And the organizational review looks at how things are done within the organization. It looks at all the processes that are involved in the business, your procurement process, right? How do you go about approving, purchasing something? Your recruitment purchases, your recruitment process, right? How do you go about hiring or firing somebody? Your credit process, how do you approve credit customers, etc. And the main aim of this organizational review is to ensure that the business is operating efficiently. So therefore, what will sometimes happen is that we look at manual processes and where they can be automated. Now, it also looks at, so that's basically our business process improvement and the reason why we need to be doing it, right? Now, the last thing that we need to be looking at is our internal controls. And this is the company's plan, and all it, by definition, is a company's plan and all the related measures designed to safeguard assets, encourage employees to follow company policy, promote operational efficiency, ensure accurate, reliable financial reporting, and encourage compliance with applicable laws and regulations. So simply put, internal control is what we do to see that the things that we want to happen will happen, and the things that we don't want to happen will not happen. It is how we go about policing the organization. And we realize that we have a person, probably a man or a woman, standing with a sword and a shield. And this is basically what internal control is about. Defending the assets, protecting the assets of the organization. So I think this picture was very relevant. Right? It says, when dealing with internal control, there are certain questions that we should be asking ourselves and answering, right? It says, what do you worry about going wrong, right? What steps have you taken to assure that it doesn't actually go wrong? And how do you know that things are under control? These are the questions that we should be asking ourselves and answering, or putting in measures to actually answer them. Now, the importance of internal control is that a weak internal control will increase your business risk through business interruptions. So you might have breakdowns or excessive rework to correct errors when they actually occur. And you might have errors made by management, and this sometimes is based on the fact that the financial statements are not correct, or they are so irrelevant when you get them, in the sense that they are probably 2 years behind. So the conditions that existed then and exist now is a totally different conditions. You might have fraud or embezzlement, right, within the organization, and trust me, this is very popular. You might have what we call statutory sanctions, so you end up paying penalties and interest to the government because you do not abide by the tax laws and other regulatory laws. You might have excessive costs, right, less than potential revenue, so this business could be generated probably 2 times what it is generated, but because you don't have internal control, you're losing your inventory, you're not getting benefit of those inventories, so you're making less than potential revenues. You might have loss or misuse or destruction of assets, and this can be intentional or unintentional, right? Now, if you have strong internal control, what it does, it provides appropriate checks and balances. So it helps you by providing appropriate checks and balances. It protects employees and resources, because, trust me, employees are one of the most important resources, right? And it helps to reduce and prevent errors in a cost-effective manner, right? So you don't wait until you make errors or you have problems that you actually run to fix those, because more than likely it will cost you more. So you have, and it also ensures that priority issues are identified, because within an organization we have scarce resources, we have limiting factors, so we need to prioritize it, right? Our internal control systems actually help us do this. Now, lastly, for internal control is that there are 5 key internal control activities that we need to at least ensure that it exists in our business, right? And one is segregation of duties. And what segregation of duties does is that it divides the responsibility between employees to ensure that reduce the opportunity that an employee commit or conceal an error, right? So they don't have control of all the aspects of a transaction. But what happens is that this works well when employees do not collude. But what happens when employees collude? How do you pick up on this, or what should you do? Now, this will come out in your financial reporting, in your variance analysis, when you compare your budgeted results with your actual results. You'll pick up that there was a problem, and by you actually doing periodic inventory counts, right, periodic checks, you will realize that something is wrong, right? So, although you have segregation of duty, bear in mind that collusion may exist, and you need to be doing your financial reporting, and you need to be doing regular checks to actually pick up on these things. We need to be documenting things, right? We need to document and preserve evidence to substantiate critical decisions that we have made. And this is important even from the perspective that we are agents of probably the shareholders of the company. So therefore, we want to be justifying certain critical transactions, certain critical decisions. And we also want to be documenting our policies and procedure manual. And this is very, very important, because a lot of time we talk to people and we say, well, you have a procedure manual, you have a procedure, you have procedures in place, yes. Do you have procedure manual? No. So what happens if an employee leaves and you have a new employee? They leave the processes in their head. So it's difficult for a new employee to actually continue with your business. So you need to be documenting these procedures. But not only document them, because we actually see situations where the procedures are documented, but they are hidden in a cabinet somewhere, right? So that defeats the purpose. So employees need to have access to these procedure manuals, so they can refer to them when they need to know how to do things. We need to have authorization approval. We need to have these processes in place, right? So what this does is that it ensures that transactions are approved or executed by only employees who have the authority to do so. We also need to clearly state which activities require approval and by whom, right? And this approval process should be based on the level of risk to the organization. So you don't want your board members to be approving a $1,000 petty cash voucher. That makes sense. Right? So you can have your supervisors, right, actually approving, and then with the higher transaction, like $1 million check, then your board members approving those. Now, access control. This is also very important because we need to secure and restrict access to sensitive equipment, cash, inventory, and confidential information. And confidential information is so important. It's a very valuable asset, right? Take for example, like somebody who is in a beauty salon business or hair products, right? It is so easy to get into that business, to buy the products and sell the products. So your competitive advantage in that case would be your suppliers we are buying the products from, right? Because it means that you are able to get the products cheaper than your competitors. Can you imagine if your competitors find out? That's simply, when your competitors actually find out who your suppliers are, right? You will have a lot of competition in no time. And we also need to perform periodic physical inventory count to verify the existence that the assets still exist and are in place, and also to pick up and where there are collusions, etc. And the final thing now is that we need to be doing reconciliation and review. We need to reconcile cash collected to sales report daily. Right? So we just don't need to collect the cash and count it and say, well, the sales was over $1 million today. Right? But seriously, in comparison to what is generated on the system, did I get all my money? Right? So you need to be doing reconciling cash to your sales report daily. And we need to examine transaction and information and events to verify the accuracy. So we need to be reviewing transactions. Right? And we need to also ensure that the frequency of this review is adequate to detect and act upon questionable activities in a timely manner, such as collusion. Right? Now, recap. We have looked at how strategic and operational planning can help our business. We have also looked at the reason for preparing and analyzing periodic financial statements and how it can help our business. We have also looked at the importance of business process improvement. Why do we need to conduct organizational review? We have also looked at the benefits of implementing and maintaining strong internal control systems. Right? And before I go, I want to leave you with this, right? You need to look at your business as you're driving on the toll road. So you enter the toll road, you pay the toll, that gives you permission to drive on the toll road. It's a similar situation with business, right? You register your company, it gives you permission to operate a business, right? But while you pay a toll and you go through the toll road, you go through the toll booth and you're driving, there are a lot of obstacles, accidents, a lot of things that you're going to encounter. It's a similar thing with business. You're going to encounter a lot of problems in your business, right? Some of these you can fix by yourself, but some you can't, right? But those that you can, we're here. Contact us. And you just seek professional help, and also you need good bankers.
As you get to 16,000 complaints in 2000, and that kept growing. Thousands of businesses having internet security challenges. 2009 was peak. A lot of people got conscious. It went down a bit, but we see it trending up again. So, I like to go through scenarios because it gets the message across. So, in your business, one person has to do multiple tasks. Typically because most small businesses might not be able to hire multiple people to do. So everybody has to multitask a bit. Everybody has several tasks to do. And you have an accounts payable plan. Pretty good with the computer, you know, sim on the computer a lot, so as an efficient manager, you get the idea that, hey, let him manage a web server, he knows about computers. So poor guy is overworked, underpaid. There's only so many hours in a day. He has to go home to his family. However, he still accepts the task, still accepts the challenge. He'll manage the server. Goes on the internet, finds some information about how to set up and manage a web server, and the web server is up. Now, like I said before, he has to go home to his family. He can't stay 24 hours to manage, you know, considering other tasks he has to do. He can't be there 24 hours to upload data to the website and ensure that it's working okay. So he opens up a port, connects it to the internet, goes home, he has access to the web server, everything is fine. So now, if you call him at 12 o'clock in the night to say, hey, we need a new prices up today, you can get them up, right? So, stage is set. He has his web server up, he can manage it from home. Way on the other side of the world, you have this guy. Actually call it Miroslav. Don't ask me where I got that name from. But he's in Russia. He's trying to figure out a way to make some money. Now, while I'm walking through this scenario, try to just keep asking yourself, what does this have to do with me in Jamaica? Alright? So, he's trying to figure out how we can get some money from his fellow Russians, because that's probably the easiest way to get some money. We in Jamaica are a little bit more creative, at least we invent a lot of scams and that sort of thing. This guy is saying, I want to defraud some Russians. So it has a little software, he scans the internet, make sure that he doesn't scan anything within Russia because he might be tracked down and shot or jailed. So he scans. He found an address, and when I say address, I mean just your internet presence. You know, everything that's connected to the internet actually has an address. So he finds a web server all the way in Jamaica. And to his surprise, the password on that web server was ABC123. Wow, first guess, he's in. What does he do? And he simply copies the website. And for most websites, you simply right-click on the web server on the website, view source code. That's the website. You can actually create a replica of the website from there. So he takes that, sets up his own little web server in Jamaica, because somebody was kind enough to leave it open for him to use, right? He also places a little utility there that basically it's connected to the website. You enter information, it captures the information, it sends it to him. So, ignore that picture for a minute, that's kind of the end state. But he knows, he somehow gets the email address for the bank's customers. And that's not a set of information that you want to treat as critical. He sends them an email to say, you know, I'm not sure how many of you have ever seen emails like this that says, we'd like, well, even more serious. Our records show that you have not updated your information in over a year. Kindly click on the link below to enter the information. You click on the link, which, by the way, doesn't have to be on that same web server, but sometimes it is for their own safety. So most people getting that email would probably ignore it, delete it. But you have a few who would say, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is happening. Click on the link. You know, busy people, business executives. Click on the link. It gives you a nice form that asks for your credit card number, your CVV number, your expiry date, your address, your first name, last name, everything that's needed to update your information. Right? So, once you enter this information, it goes back to this guy. And essentially, he's able, with that information now, to make any purchase he wants to make on the internet. So essentially, he has your money. So that picture was actually him running off, found himself a girlfriend, and he's now going off with the stuff he has bought with your money. So, did you ask yourself that question? What does this have to do with me? No? You realize the computer just assisted in a major crime. So while your web server is sitting here in Jamaica, you have assisted in defrauding hundreds, thousands of people of their money. And the bank will be sending a bill to these people to say, you made these purchases, please give me my money. So you might very well say the FBI showing up to ask you, why did you assist in this crime? And maybe some explanation papers as well. Let us come closer to home though. So you own a small business that makes some of the nicest patties around, and you have that recipe stored on a computer at the office. But the question is, what if somebody gains access to this computer, gets that information, and start making patties tasting just like yours, and selling them for half the price? That's something to ponder. They'll come and they'll set up shop right next to you. Patties taste the same. Why would I continue going to your shop when I can get it a lot cheaper? So these are some of the things why we have to think about our information, how we protect it, where we store it, who we're allowed to access it. So it's a little survey that essentially seeks to look at why people attack websites to get information and so forth. Oh, here's what surprised me. Overwhelmingly, majority of them do it just for fun. So you could lose your information, you could have system downtime, you could lose millions of dollars because somebody was just looking for some tips. Here's a critical question. What do we need to do to protect our information? Because the risks are there. You have seen it. I've just told you about what could happen to you or your business. What do you need to do? I was about to say to prevent this happening, but when you're in my field, that's almost impossible. But what you can do is to put up some defenses. Remember that guy with the sword and the shield? Put up some defenses to make it a whole lot harder for the people who are out there trying to get your information. So here's a starting point. Our advice to you is that you start with a security policy. And this is essentially a document that the owners of the business, the leaders of the business develop to essentially say, this is our critical information. We do not want it out there in the public sphere. These are the things that we need to do to protect it. It also creates a baseline of your current security posture. So what it does is to ensure that you're at a certain point where you can breathe a little easier, because you are guiding your organization by saying these things must be in place. It sets the framework for security implementation. And this is just to ensure that somebody doesn't go out and buy $1 million piece of equipment to protect something that's valued, $50,000 or, just to set that. It defines allowed and disallowed behavior. So what I mean by that is essentially our employees are looking to us to tell them what we will accept and what we won't accept in our organization. People writing passwords on a piece of paper, sticking it to the top of the monitor, under the keyboard. Sounds weird to some of us, but it happens. Looks at the necessary tools and procedures. How long should your password be? What should your password consist of? How often should you change your passwords? These are little things that employees need guidance on, because it's not something in the course of their busy day. It's not something that they think about readily. You saw the ABC 1, 2, 3 example. I guarantee you, if we do a scan of your network, it's quite possible we're going to turn up a few of those. 2 years ago, when I had a lot more time to spare,